Welcome to the Kingdom, guys. This is episode 3 of Royal Vision Podcast. It is a 2-part series. This is part 1. So stay tuned for that interview with Max Anderson. All right. Welcome to the Kingdom, guys. This is episode 3 of Royal Vision Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Matthew. Got a very special guest tonight. He plays football and basketball. He's a quarterback in football, and he's a forward/guard in basketball. He's from Charlestown, West Virginia. He's played a high level of football and basketball for almost 13 years. He's won MVP awards in the state of West Virginia. He's been into multiple championship games for both football and basketball. He's a 2-time first-team All-State player and second-team All-State utility his sophomore year. He's a 4-year captain for both football and basketball and won honorable mention All-State at the state basketball tournament last year. He'll be attending WVU to play football for the next 4 to 5 years. So give it up for Max Anderson. Welcome.
Sir, appreciate it.
All right, cool. See, relax. All right, Max. Glad to have you on here. How you been, man?
Yes, sir. I've been doing good.
That's good.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, of course. Kind of just, you play basketball, you play football. What drew you to those sports from a young age?
I mean, I just grew up around it, watching my brother play, watching my dad I used to watch my dad go play basketball at Harper's Ferry when we used to live over there too for a little bit. But I just grew up around it, and all my friends did it. So, it was just, I grew up and just got into it just with them when I got playing, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah. So, obviously, with your commit to football is definitely your favorite sport. When did you realize football was your favorite over the two?
When I realized football was my favorite sport when I was a young kid, I played in Pop Warner leagues with some really high level leagues, and growing up and traveling the country playing football. When I was younger, I fell in love with it. So when I was younger, I've always loved football, always loved basketball the same. But I really figured out I love football more in high school. Getting into my freshman and 8th grade year, that's when I really stuck out. I knew I had an opportunity to become a really good player.
That's good. And so what were some of the defining moments early in your career, starting because you've been playing for 13 years, that kind of shaped your mindset?
I would probably say my sophomore year for real. My sophomore year for real is when I really knew football was probably going to be what I was going to go play in college. So just, having the great coaches around me that helped me, become the player I am. And, I always loved basketball too, but, football, my coaches, and just the way I was playing at a high level for football, I just knew that football was going to be what I was going to take into college. Yeah.
Now, have you only had Coach Law as your football coach, or was it?
No, actually, Coach Sims was my head coach at first. I had Coach Sims my freshman year, and I think going into my sophomore year I had Coach Sims my freshman and sophomore year, but Coach Law and all those new coaches came up with Coach Sims my freshman year, and then coming into my junior year, Coach Sims was coaching in the summer, and then he left and resigned. So yeah, that's when that coaching change happened my junior year.
So what is something that you noticed? What was probably the biggest difference between those two coaches? Because having one for 2 years and the next one for the last 2 years of your career.
They were both really good coaches, but Coach Law, he was really passionate. He was really passionate about really wanting to change the school, not only just for the football, but change the school just to become a better person. So I think Coach Law was really, really, really passionate about what he was doing, and really wanted to, be the difference maker in Spring Mills, and really wanted to, change the ways that, we've been, because he was here since our freshman year, and just the way, we evolved since my freshman year coming into till now, we come a long way, and he was a big part of that.
And with Spring Mills being the newest high school in the area, I think it's less than 13 years old. How does it feel to kind of, in such a short amount of time, be one of those top schools, most well-known schools in the state of West Virginia?
It's great. It takes a lot of hard work, and we've really worked hard to get where the school is now and what we've become. And coming in my freshman year, we'd go travel and play these Wheeling Parks, Morgantowns, and they didn't even know Spring Mills was a high school. Yeah, which is crazy. But how far we've come, and what we've done to make that happen. It takes a lot. It's a lot of hard work, and we put it in and done it. And now more people know about Spring Mills and know what we're capable of.
Yeah, and so with you growing up playing basketball, growing up playing football, and you have a younger brother. I know with brothers, that can be sometimes a little bit of competition, can be a lot of fun. So kind of explain your upbringing and how that formed or the way you approach competition?
I mean, I love competing. I don't want anybody to outwork me. I want to always outwork someone. So, it's just the way of the game. I mean, if you let someone outwork you, you're going to lose your spot. So, I mean, competing is really important in sports. And, I'm going to come out and give it my all every day. So, I don't want no one coming and outworking me, because if that happens, then that's how you lose your spot and go down the depth chart. So, I always want to, bring that grit, that hard work, the determination, just to, keep my spot and always impact the game and bring winning plays to the game.
Yeah. But getting a chance to play with your brother, especially these last 3 years, because you are a year older than him, but also getting to play with him in a state championship game, kind of explain that feeling, getting to play with your brother.
Oh, I mean, it's super special. Not many people get to, play with their brothers in sports, and especially going up in high school. So, I mean, it's a very special moment. I try to, seize them every now and then. I'm getting the opportunity to play these games with my brother. And now that I'm a senior, I'm about to graduate. This is about to be my last moments playing with him. So, really seizing those moments, and enjoying them, having fun together, having fun out there on the court. It's really special, and I'm really grateful that I get this opportunity to be able to play with my brother.
And so kind of like, how is your relationship with your brother? Kind of explain. I know you're a role model to him, and you want to shape him into like a good young man, an all-star, a legendary player. So kind of explain your role towards him.
Oh, me and Zay are really competitive against each other.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to lose to Zay. Zay never wants to lose to me. He doesn't want to be worse than me, and I don't want to be worse than him. So, I mean, we really do a good job of, pushing each other and being competitive, because, we don't like losing each other. So, I mean, just having that, guy right next to you, especially your brother, just to be able to always push you and always make you want to be better, and always, because you never want to lose to him. But it's just awesome and grateful, that we get to battle against each other all the time growing up in practice and in games. And in the games, we get to play together and compete against other guys. So it's always awesome to, play together and then work together and win together. So it's awesome.
And I know that now he's a little bit taller than you, but how long did it take before he was able to beat you?
I mean, it took a while. I mean, I think Zay just started, kind of being able to compete with me. But, Zay had a huge growth spurt going up in middle school, because that's when Zay started to become a little bit more taller than me, was in middle school. And then, when he got up to high school, he shot up. So, I mean, Zay's gotten a lot taller. And then as he was growing and getting taller, he started becoming more coordinated in his height and athletic, because Zay is athletic for his height. But, I mean, Zay's come a long way, so I'm proud of him, for real.
And so, in your early stages of playing football, what were kind of some of the first challenges, even in basketball, that you started to go through?
I mean, for me, especially growing up in high school or getting acclimated in high school, my freshman year, I had a lot of, confidence issues. Not having confidence and belief in myself to, shoot the ball or make the right play. Always thinking too much. Trying to make plays for others, but I always thought too much to make too much plays for others, instead of, when I have the opportunity to go score, to make that myself. So my freshman year, I had a really, really tough time with my confidence and stuff, but putting the work in, I got a little better with it, but I had a lot of confidence issues. I say that was my problem my freshman year in high school.
And so, were you the starting quarterback your freshman year as well?
Yeah. So my freshman year, I wasn't starting at first. I was actually, I played a little bit more defense, and then I played spot minutes here at quarterback. But Jameer Hunter was actually our quarterback, and Bernard Newman was our quarterback for Spring Mills. And then we did a lot of moving around, because we just lost an all-state player, Keon Pattamore Johnson, which was a really talented quarterback that we had at Spring Mills before my time. But so we had Jameer Hunter and Bernard Newman, and then we had some injuries and just some moving around, and then next thing you know, I'm starting quarterback against Martinsburg. So I didn't start off the rip, but I came in and got, I guess what my coaches used to say, they threw me into the fire. So I would say I started Martinsburg game. So it was week 6, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So mid-season,
So with that being your first game starting quarterback, you're a freshman in high school. You're starting your very first game against probably one of the best schools in the tri-state area. Yeah. What's kind of going through your mind at that moment?
I always had belief in myself. Going into my freshman year, I've always had some type of different confidence. Playing football. I always knew I was a talented player. I always knew I was. I belonged. So I would just say going into that game. I was a little nervous because knowing Martinsburg, they were the number one team in the state. I'm pretty sure they won the state championship that year, and they had a Hudson Clement. That was the year. That was the year they had Hudson Clement. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, going against the number one team in the state, I was nervous, and I obviously wanted to, shock the world and make people know about me and know what I can do. But I threw a touchdown that game. That's what I mean. That's at least took something out of that game.
Yeah.
But they blew us out. But being able to come in and compete, no matter what, being able to come out and compete in a huge game, going against the number one team in the state was really big and something I really took out of that game, for real.
So from that game, throughout I'm guessing you started the rest of the season then at that point, from week 6 and so on. So how do you feel like you developed from that moment, starting against Martinsburg, to the end of the season? I
developed a lot. Learning a little bit more about the game every day. I didn't really, back in my freshman year, I didn't really know much about reading defenses and stuff like that. I wasn't really good with that, but I had an arm. So
yeah.
If I had a guy open that we ran a play for, and I could get the ball there. I wasn't really acclimated with just being able to throw the ball in the right spot, know where to go pre-snap and stuff like that. But I had an arm, so I knew I was talented enough and good enough to make some plays, and I was always athletic enough to run. So I made plays here and there, but really what I took out from my freshman year was that I had an arm. And I was capable of, being able to read pre-snap and do stuff like that. That was the main thing I had to work on, looking back at it to my freshman year.
Gotcha. So speaking of your arm, my biggest thing with football is I've never been able to throw a football properly. So what is the technique to? Because I know you kind of have to like your hand almost hasn't finished like that.
Yeah.
So what's the trick to that?
Really to be able to throw a football, it's mainly with your legs. It starts from bottom and then comes all the way up. So you got to have good footwork down with your legs, being able to rotate your hips, being able to transform your arm, using your torque within your hips, and then coming finishing through with your arm. But really for me, I've always playing football growing up. I've just always been able to, I've always watched, and I've been a quarterback when I was little league, but it was more, catch and run. But for being a quarterback, it just got to keep your arm 90-degree angle and then just finish through with your hips, and your hips have to lead the way. You have to be able to transition your hips into your arms, and then that torque creates the power.
Okay, so it all starts with kind of like hitting a baseball.
Essentially it is like hitting a baseball. That's exactly what it is.
Okay,
but just not swinging a bat. You're throwing a football. So
I got you.
Yeah.
In case I'm ever gonna try and throw football, I'll definitely keep that in mind because that's one thing I've always struggled with. So you said you've been playing quarterback your entire life, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right?
So when I was a little kid, I was a quarterback, but it was more of quarterback run. So it was more like that. But yeah, that's when I played for my Pop Warner League, and then when I played in the youth leagues around here, I played for JCYFL up in Jefferson County. And played for the Rams, and I was a wide receiver, back, running back. And then when I moved up here, up in middle school, I played for the junior Cardinals, and I was more of a tight end because I was a little bit bigger because Fortnite and that stuff happened, the COVID. Always inside playing the game, so I was a little chubby middle school kid. But I was a tight end and still played some wide receiver and here and there and stuff like that. But then when I got to 8th grade, my dad was in my ear about switching to quarterback because the ball. He was telling me the ball's always in your hands. You're always gonna have the opportunity to make plays. And he really thought I could be, capable of, being a dog there. So he gave me the idea to move to quarterback. And then in my 8th grade year, we had a practice, and our freshman coach, Coach McIntyre, was like, "Who can throw the ball?" So I come out there, and I'm really kind of second guessing myself. Like, do I really want to be a quarterback? Do I really want to do this? And my friend Logan Bush is like, Max can. And then ever since then, I threw the ball. He was like, "All right, well, we got our quarterback." And ever since then, I never looked back, and that's when I became a quarterback.
That's cool. So it's almost like it was meant to be almost.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And probably in that moment, you're like, "Shut up, Logan." But it ended up working out for you pretty well because now you're going to play football at West Virginia.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So how do you feel like your personal experience has, outside of sports, have shaped the way you compete, or would shape an athlete's way that they compete?
When I got to high school, Coach Sam was always, he always instilled in me to, work hard because we were all young and, people didn't think we were going to be really that good at basketball. Yeah. But we were actually not bad. We had a talented group. We grew up together, played together. But, Coach Sample said, if we're not going to be, if we're not going to be that good talent-wise, we got to be scrappy, we got to be dogs, we got to, we got to grind, we got to work hard. So I think going at like my freshman year and going into basketball, I think Coach Samples did a really good job of instilling that into me, of working hard, really competing, really, being a dog, really being scrappy, really locking in on defense, because playing against seniors as a freshman, you got to work hard, you got to do all the little things right, because those kids are way older than you, more experienced than you. And they're probably a little bit more talented than you. But so I mean, yeah, I think Coach Samples really did a great job of instilling that into me.
Yeah, because I think about your freshman year. That's my brother's junior year. At that point, Hedgesville's got, from basketball, they got Cam Oaks. They have Jackson Ruest, Christian Balduke. And then you got on the Martinsburg side, they got Avion Blackwood. They have Stephon Barkley.
Yeah.
Musselman's got Jordan Holmes.
Yeah, really talented.
So you guys are in a really packed EPAC, and EPAC's normally pretty stacked.
Yeah, that year was a really talented overall EPAC. And then you look at Jefferson.
Yeah,
they got Jamari Jenkins.
Yes.
They got Cam. What's his last name?
Gladney.
They got Gladney. They got the tall Cam kid.
Oh, Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson. Yeah, they got him. They got that Bryson Fleming. They got all those talented kids. And
what's his name?
Will Shively, Wyatt
Shively.
Yeah, the EPAC was super talented, and me coming to my freshman year, I'm guarding all those talented kids. I'm guarding Jordan Holmes. I'm guarding Cam Oaks. So those kids were all really talented at basketball. And older than me, more experienced than me, and you got to be scrappy and be a dog. And I think I did a pretty good job playing defense on them, because I was always on the best player, denying the best player, making sure they didn't score. And we knocked off some big games. I mean, we beat Hedgesville twice in the regular season, but they beat us in the sectional.
Yeah, I
think we split with Musselman. And Martinsburg, we split with Martinsburg, I'm pretty sure. But those are really talented teams, and being able to pull off those games as freshmen. It was really special and really fun. Had a really good time doing that. But yeah, I mean, it was a really crazy year, really talented EPAC year for sure.
So feeling because I feel like in that moment, I'd probably feel like an underdog. I'm a freshman. I'm playing against a bunch of juniors, seniors. What's your mentality that kind of just pushed you to compete?
I mean, I don't like losing, and and the main thing that always got me to really compete was the fact that people always thought about Spring Mills. They always oh, Spring Mills ain't this, Spring Mills ain't good, Spring Mills ain't that. And that always just I hated to hear that. I hated that. So, I never wanted to lose. I never wanted to lose in none of these schools, because I always wanted to prove them what we are and who we are as people, and who we are and what Spring Mills is as a school. Because I didn't like how people always thought, we were the trash school, the trash area. And no, don't go to Spring Mills, da-da-da-da. I hated that. So that always pushed me and made me work hard to, put us on the map and make people know that we ain't no pushover. So that's what made me want to compete and win and stuff like that.
And that's something I remembered, because growing up, I mean, we always talked bad about Spring Mills.
Yeah.
You guys are the ugly stepchild. You came, because I went to Hedgesville, so you guys came out of Hedgesville. You're the ugly stepchild, don't belong, y'all are trash. And then just recently, the last couple of years, you guys everybody just starts gravitating towards there, and you guys have just transformed the school. And we talked about it on the live last night, just how the culture there, it's unlike any other school I've ever been to. It's a great culture to be a part of, so inclusive, so amazing, and I love that. That's a great part about the school.
Yeah, and like I was saying yesterday too, us players, us coaches, us the teachers in the building, everyone, from the principals, the students, that's what we've all done a good job to really change the narrative and make that place somewhere you want to look forward to going to. So I think everyone in that building just does such a great job of doing the right things and trying to make that place a better place and make it like a home.
Yeah,
because that's the biggest thing that I think that they're trying to do, and we're all trying to do, is make that place a home. Make it a place where you look forward to going to, and not be like, oh, I gotta go here. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what we do a really good job of. And
it's almost, I just kind of had this thought, it's almost like all of that negativity on the outside, it pretty much brought you guys together.
Yeah.
With all that negativity going on, it just caused you to come together stronger, want to build yourself up. Because at the end of the day, your guys are a school, and the school is really, it's more like a family almost. Yeah, and all of us, from football to football into basketball,
we all grew up playing together like dang near our whole lives. So it's just like just that us building that chemistry over the years, us spending at each other's houses, hanging out, working out together. Like when moments get hard and you have your friend behind you that is gonna push you and gonna get you better. It always helps, and it's always awesome to be able to accomplish good things with your friends and family that you grew up with for so long. So it is something really special. So
what lessons from growing up with your brothers, with not just on the court, but like also your fraternal brother as well as Zay, how do you feel like that's helped you succeed in both sports and in life? Because you're pretty successful in the classroom as well.
Yeah, I mean, going through like hard moments in games, being like losing and, being down. And because, at first, we weren't really winning. Like my freshman year, we weren't really a winning team. Coming into my senior year, we were in the state championship. So being in those low moments together and, really battling through those tough times and battling through, the moments we weren't really doing the best that we thought we could. Going through all of that, and then when we got older and more stronger and bigger and tougher and stuff like that, growing up and getting bigger and stuff like that, getting up to those big moments in the semifinal game, state championship game. Even we had our moments, that we could have pulled it off, but like, going through all those tough times back when we were younger into now, it just helped. It helped us become, just dogs essentially. Just so I mean, it really is awesome and it is special. So I mean, I'm just happy to be able to do all this stuff with the people I've grown up with, because it was really something awesome and special.
And I don't know if you've ever heard of Tony Robbins. If you haven't, look him up. He's very inspirational. He talks about tough times build tough people, weak times build weak people. So I'm not saying that. I guess what I'm saying is you guys have gone through tough times. You guys have faced adversity, and that's only made you guys stronger.
Yeah.
Genuinely. So with that, how do you feel like that's helped you develop a strong mental game, and why do you feel like a strong mental game is so important?
I mean, building that strong mental brain is just from the adversity, going through those tough times like we were just talking about. But what was the second part of that question again?
Why do you feel like it's so important?
But yeah, I mean, it's really important because not only does that make you persevere through those hard games where you're close and you're tired, but it helps build that confidence in you where you got it and you still got to keep working hard and you still got to battle through it and finishing it, being able to finish it when you're tired, being able to complete whatever, what I'm saying. So I think that being able to really build that mental game is, I mean, really, it's really good and it's going to help you. So got to be able to do it to be able to accomplish big things in life. So
that's true. And so what kind of strategies help you stay focused and remain confident under pressure? Because I know there's been times where you're either down by 5 or it's a close game. And so what strategies do you feel like you've used?
Your strategies is to, help you win through those tough games. I mean, it's preparation. I really think preparation is really important because being able to know what teams are going to do in certain situations are going to really help you, be ready for what's going to happen or be ready for what's going to come, which is going to help you be able to stop them or being able to execute at a high level. So, I mean, I really take my preparation really serious, and before games, knowing the scouting report, knowing what on football, knowing what teams do, what teams are going to do to me, and knowing where I need to go with the ball or where I need to run with the ball, where if this guy is a slower guy than me and he's crashing inside, I can pull in and get out down the sideline. So, really being prepared is, I think, really important. And it helps you, when you get to those tough times in games, be ready and executing. So, yeah, I would say my preparation for real.
So kind of walk me through your preparation routine. Obviously, that would probably include film, maybe studying, going to other games. So kind of walk me through that.
For me, like for football, I mean, I'm watching film every day, just seeing because I mean, even on offense and defense, watching film every day for offense, like especially seeing what their defenses are going to do, finding the weak points in their defense to see where I like to go, and then looking at matchups. All right, like if they got this little corner on Zay, like, all right, I'm obviously going to go up top because Zay's 6'7", got an advantage right there. But also knowing how what my players and what my teammates are good at, you know, to see what they got on advantage on the other defense, and then going to the defensive side of the ball, you know, really studying film, seeing what teams like to do in different situations, what they like to do on first down, what they like to do on second down, when they line up in this formation, what they like to do, and just being able to really stop it and execute. And so I take the preparation part really serious, and I mean, it helps. It really helps to know you're just ultimately going to be ready for whatever's coming your way, because you know and you studied and you worked to make sure that you know what they're going to do and what you're going to do to stop it. So
yeah, and I think the great part about that too is that if you do it enough, there's sometimes you show up out there and you know how to run the other team's plays better than their own players do.
And that's the really important part, because that's what made Tom Brady so great. Like he knows your defense more than you know your defense in some aspects. Like it's crazy, because like he knows where he's going with the ball pre-snap, because he knows every part of your defense. He knows exactly what you're going to do, no matter if you're disguising it or not. Like once he sees that safety drop in the middle, he's thinking cover 3, cover 1, man, whatever, and he knows where he's going with the ball, because he knows all the plays and knows where everyone's supposed to be. So like knowing, studying, and all that other stuff, I mean, it really helps you. It really helps you dominate in the game and be ready to execute in any situation. So I mean, like, so.
And speaking of Brady, that kind of reminded me of LeBron, because LeBron is the same exact way. I remember seeing this video where he's on the court with, I think it was Tristan Thompson, and he's talking to the other team's player. He's like, no, you're supposed to be here. And then like his teammates like what? Like it's nuts. But that was one thing I was always grateful for about having coaches that tried so hard to help you create a scouting report. Now you were talking about your uncle yesterday and watching film with him. So what do you feel like you've learned from him?
I mean, he's really teach me the ins and out of the game. Like right now.
This episode of Royal Vision Podcast is sponsored by Trophies Plus here in Martinsburg, West Virginia, where you can get your embroidered needs. They have service awards, trophies, and also sublimated mugs. So if you're looking for anything embroidered, anything to celebrate a special occasion, go to Trophies Plus here in Martinsburg, West Virginia to go get those.
Right now, I mean, we've been going through a lot of just like breaking down what linemen do, because, you know, being a quarterback, you got to know everything. You got to be able to, you know, switch up calls. You got to be able to audible. You got to be able to, because defenses, because your coaches can only do so much calling a play. Yeah. But if they give you a different look, you got to be able to switch the play to what you like from what they do. So, like, if a team's running like a 4-front, you know, usually like inside zone or stuff like that. But if they switch it up and do a different look, you're not going to want to run inside zone. So if they're in like a 3-3 stack, you know, you like counter, you like stuff like that. But my uncle has been, you know, helping me, teach me the ins and out of the game, what linemen do, what defenses do, what defense are going to show me, and what do I need to do when the defenses show me this. So, I mean, we've really been working. And actually, I was just actually doing that with him not too long ago. So, I mean, you know, really, you know, preparing myself for the college level, really learning the ins and out of the game is really going to help me prepare for college and be ready and not be behind and having to catch up while I get to college. Yeah. When I get to college, I'm going to be ready for, you know, what's coming to me. So that's the main thing. That's what he's been helping me on too. So
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say he's doing a good job with it. So
yeah, and I remember you saying that he used to play college football, even played in the pros a little bit. So that's something that not a lot of people get to have in their back pocket, somebody who's experienced that. So how does that kind of feel to have that?
Oh, I mean, it's good, and it's perfect because he was a defensive guy, so he knows the ins and outs from defenses. And so, you know, having him being able to help me, show me what defenses are going to do in this, because I think he's a defensive guru, just because, you know, he played on defensive side of the ball. So he's telling me what defenses like to do in this look, what they like to do in that look, and, you know, telling him what, like, the plays we run and stuff like that and what we can get out of those type of plays. I mean, he's really helped me do a lot, and I really am blessed and lucky to have him to be able to, you know, coach me through this, because he's getting me a lot better mentally, and it's gonna pay off when I get to college.
And so would you say he's probably your biggest role model or biggest mentor in your life right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's always been there helping me, and I've just always been inspired by him, because what he's done and the great things he's done in his life, what he's accomplished. So for that, I mean, I'd say that for sure. He's really, really inspiring to me, and I'm just grateful to have a guy like him and what he's done, and just being able to help me grow mentally in the game and stuff like that. It's just something really special, and I'm just so blessed. So
So who else do you feel like is your biggest mentors in your life? It's because you played multiple sports.
Yeah, I mean, all my coaches, really, all my high school coaches and my parents and my family. I mean, they're all really great mentors in my life. I can go down a list of just a lot of people who've really helped develop me into the person I am today. So, I mean, I can go from my mom. My mom's always there for me. My dad's always there for me. My brother's always there for me. Coaches and all that. So, I mean, I can really go down the line. I got a lot of great people that's all helped me get to where I am today. So that's, I mean, a lot of people. So I mean, I could probably be here forever talking about that. So.
Yeah, if I was like the list of 40 people, I get that. But I think that's great. I think because there's a lot of people out there that they don't have a mentor. They don't have somebody who's like in their ear, like, hey, let's straighten up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so beneficial especially for kids, because sometimes kids, they come up in a place where it's not good, and they just need somebody who kind of not necessarily like straightens them out, but straightens them out. Just like, hey, let's not do that. Hey, let's do this. Yeah. Just point them down the right path.
And talking about that, like, my dad growing up didn't really have like a real mentor, to help guide him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he struggled in some things. And my dad was a really good athlete too, but, him not having that mentor to, tell him to stay focused in school, to tell him you need to do this, tell him you need to do that, him not really having that, but I mean, he had some good coaches and stuff like that, but like him not having that really good father figure and just, stuff like that, just keep him on track, really, it really, I mean, like just talking about that, I mean, that's why having a mentor is really special. And, I got plenty of mentors and plenty of people that want to see me succeed. And it's helped me in tremendous ways. So,
and so, kind of, what role have your parents had on you for your upbringing?
I mean, my dad's always, like, growing up since I was a kid. My dad's always always told me and taught me to what it takes to, because I've always liked sports since I was a kid. So he's always tried to push me and show me what it takes to become a good player, because he helped the reason why my uncle is, where he is today is because, not just because of him, but like he's had a big part of why he's, successful. So, I mean, being able to have that in your life is just good. So, and it's going to help you when you get to that, the adversity times in your life. So that's what I'd say.
I like that. And so with coming up, starting off kind of like rough, as far as your high school career, how do you feel like those losses and setbacks, how do you feel like you built resilience through those?
Because it's super hard. You don't ever want to lose. So, I mean, being after those losses, it just makes you more hungry and makes you really want to just keep getting better, keep grinding. So I think like losing those games early coming up in high school just made me want to keep working. It just eagered me to just want to just never lose to them again and go in the gym and just keep putting in the work. So I just think me taking those losses and going through those adversity times helped me really want to put in the work and want to be better for myself, not only for myself but for my teammates too. And we all pushed each other just to so we can all get better. And having 8 dogs instead of just one. Yeah, I mean, that's how you become great teams and championship teams. So, and I think that's what we've done a really good job at.
For sure. And so, like, in moments where somebody might feel like quitting, what do you feel like is the difference in what we tell ourselves between the person that keeps going and the person that quits? What do you feel like the difference is in what they tell themselves?
I mean, I think communicating with them. I think communicating with them is very important. Just telling them that what their potential is and what they can become, and because them not having that belief in something, them wanting to quit, it's obviously for a reason. Maybe because they don't believe in themselves, maybe because something happened. Being able to communicate with them and talk them through it, and really pushing them, telling them that you're capable of this if you just keep going and keep doing what you're doing. You just got to keep working every day and keep doing what you're doing, but and let them know about their potential, because they could be a really talented player, and making them realize that for themselves is just a next level thing that will make them really want to maybe change their mind and make them want to come back and be like, yeah, you know what, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just going through a tough time right now, and maybe I'm just going through a little slump, and I just need to keep going. So I think that's fairly important, communicating with them and just talking them through that.
Has there ever been like a moment where you were put in that situation where, let's say there's a player that's doing that, is there a moment where you did something to
Oh
shift
yeah,
them?
there was a couple times in high school growing up. Kids going through it, having their slumps, them not wanting to be not feeling too good about themselves, and you just got to be there for them. That's what teammates are for. You got to be there for them because when it's your time, when you're not going through a good time, and you're going through your slumps and you're not believing in yourself, having that person that can just come up to you and be like, hey man. You're good. You just need to keep working on your stuff, and you need to keep pushing through because you're capable of doing this. You're capable of doing that. Your potential is your potential is the sky's the limit for your potential. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You just gotta keep working and get through it because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, having that in your ear, that I feel like that separates. That's the difference between quitting and keep going. Because like more times than not, if you just keep going, like you don't know what's on that door.
Yeah.
You know what they say? Like keep knocking. Eventually, the door's gonna open up.
Yeah.
Eventually, the door's gonna open up. So, just like what we talked about, like you're a leader, not only in football but also in basketball. So, how do you feel like you've become? How do you feel like you really truly stepped into that leadership role over time?
I mean, me getting into high school, especially my football, both football and basketball. We've always lacked that person. We've always had the coach that would try to be on us and try to keep us going, keep us working hard. But as you keep going in the practice and stuff, when the coaches are trying to push you, sometimes that just goes in one ear and out the other. Like you stop listening and stuff. So you always need that player that's actually going through it with you to be able to push you. So I think me going to get into high school, not having anyone really trying to be that person, it forced me to be because I didn't want I was tired of the coaches saying we need a leader because no one's pushing each other and because our coaches were always trying to do that, but then we didn't have that player, so it kind of forced me to I'm gonna be that guy because I want to be successful, I want to win. So I mean, and then it presented itself, and the next I'm the guy that's yelling and screaming, telling us let's go, we got to do this, we got to do that. And then the guys listen, and I'm going through it with you as well. So while I'm going through, I'm pushing them while we're conditioning, while we're running, while we're practicing, if we're messing up an assignment, coaching them through it. So being a player, going through the same stuff as your teammates, being able to push them as well is it forced me to be a leader because no one else would. So I think my teammates, I guess, not being able to wanting to speak and stuff like that, I guess put me in a position to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
So you say that really confidently. So I almost kind of feel like there was no moment of fear. It was kind of just like, you know what, if nobody's gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And it just progressively got easier. So, what do you feel like some common mental challenges are that athletes would face throughout the career, starting from a young age to now?
I mean, there's a lot of challenges. Plenty, but I would say just main thing in sports, I feel like that people, especially athletes nowadays, struggle with is confidence. I feel like a lot of people have confidence issues because they're not performing well and they think they should be performing well, but like that alone comes with your work. And I think a lot of kids nowadays, they think they should be playing like Steph Curry, but they don't work like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So they being able to really put in the work, and then if you're putting in the work and then you're not seeing results, then you got to find that what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do? But like I think a lot of kids now, they just they think they should be playing like this, but they don't work like that. So they gotta really work hard. Talking them through it, telling them what they need to do, being that guy, that's being honest with them. Being honest is a really important thing to, being successful. And I just think that if your teammate's not doing what they need to do, you got to be on them and tell them, hey, bro, you got to do better. You got to put in the work. You got to do more because you think you should be playing like this, but you're not putting in the work to play like that. So
it's kind of like an awareness thing almost. Like you have to be aware of what you're doing so that you can get the results that you want. And some players aren't aware of what they're doing. They might be out there thinking like, hey, I'm Steph Curry, but they're really acting like, I don't know. I don't want to say Lou Williams because Lou Williams is a really good bench player, but
they're just they're inside. They're going home. After practice, they're playing the game.
Yeah,
they're going home after practice going to sleep. They're going home after practice just chilling, eating, just chilling, not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Instead, you should be going home doing if you really want to be better, you
Yeah.
should be going home doing the extra things. You should be going home lifting, maybe going home putting in the extra work, maybe going home do some drills.
Yeah.
That stuff that stuff will take your game to another level. So, I think that's very important.
So I got to ask, speaking out, like decisions we make and being aware. So with sports, what do you typically eat before a game? I remember I could only ever eat Subway before a basketball game or even a baseball game because otherwise I'd cramp. I'd feel sick.
Football games for me, I'm a big Chipotle guy.
Okay,
I love going to Chipotle before a game. Some people think that's a lot, but for me, that was always a good meal for me. Me and my teammates used to, after school for football games, take a little trip down to Martinsburg, go to Chipotle, get a burrito, get a bowl, whatever. But Chipotle was definitely one of the main things I would eat before a game. But like sometimes for basketball, they cook before, so it's whatever they cook and whatever they decide to make for us. But for me, if I have a preference and if I want to go somewhere to go get some food before a game, I'm going to Chipotle. So.
Hey, being at WVU, you might be able to get a sponsorship from Chipotle. That'd be cool.
That would be dope.
That'd be
I
awesome.
love free Chipotle.
So I've seen you drastically grow in size and in muscle over the last 4 years. So what's kind of been your key to that as far as diet, as far as workout regimen?
Just, lifting as much as I can because I used to, Samples also, Coach Samples also lifts every day. So, going back to my freshman year, I always used to be in the weight room, because he used to make us lift for basketball. And then, Samples, I live right beside the school, so I used to look out my window. I see Samples' car up on the weekend.
Okay.
I used to see Samples' car up there on the weekend. I'm like, you know what? Let me go work out because Samples up there working out, and he's there all day doing coaching stuff.
Yeah.
And then and after I'm done lifting, I might go get some shots up, or might go on the football field and throw around my brother. But doing that type of stuff, it takes your game to another level. Just being able to really grind and being able to really work, it helps. And people, I think athletes nowadays really need to notice that if you really put yourself in a position to just keep working, being able to grind, being able to work, it takes your game to another level. And I think athletes nowadays need to see that and not just expect to be able to play good and stuff like that. You got to earn it. So
and one of those things that just showing up every day, not just showing up and just, hey, I'm here, but showing up and putting in the work. That's one of those things. That's what builds discipline. Yeah. Because we talked about it yesterday. There's moments when he doesn't feel like waking up, getting out of bed. There's the moments when I don't feel like getting up out of bed, going to the gym. I go to the gym at 4:30 a.m. every morning, but it's that discipline. It's remembering why you're doing it.
Yeah, you're wise. Why? For me, it's my family. I don't. When I'm going to college and stuff, I'm gonna be thinking about. I don't want my mom and dad to work again. That's my why. They've done so much for me, from paying for me to play for AAU. They putting me in the best positions to be seen by coaches. Letting me go travel across the country to play travel basketball, from playing Pop Warner to playing in Baltimore, playing against the highest competition, the big competition. They've done so much for me. So why not do the extra work that is going to help me be a more successful person in life in general? So why not do all the little things it takes to be great for them, and to help me be not only a successful person, but if it all goes as planned, make some good money and take care of my family that took care of me growing up.
For sure, just trying to give back. That's how I kind of developed that mantra. What if it all works out? Because you can always quit. You can always quit. Why quit now, though? Why quit now? Just keep going.
Never know. You never know what's on the other end. You never know.
Yeah.
If I were to just stop playing football, who knows what I could have been?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows? I could have done some special things in college. Who knows? But why not? Why quit and not find out? Then do it and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because Jim Rohn, that's another guy to look up, but he talks about discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. So it weighs a lot more to regret the what ifs than it does to be disciplined, to pursue and achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So that's something that I always keep in the back of my mind too. So how do you feel athletes navigate self-doubt and stay mentally strong under pressure?
Athletes, I think they believe they generate self-doubt is just by I would say their lack of work. I guess. I mean, them not believing that they can do it. Them not really been seeing the results in practice.
Yeah.
Maybe, and sometimes maybe even like coaches and stuff could even cause that.
Yeah.
But what was the other part? How they progress through it? You said.
Yeah. So like, how do you feel like they stay mentally strong under that pressure?
I mean, just trusting yourself, trusting your work, trusting what you've done to get where you are today. I think that's a really huge part. I mean, having that good role, that good coach that is going to always if you're going through that tough time, maybe he's going to talk to you, be like, hey man, hey, we got this, and believing in your coach, believing in their game plan, believing in all that stuff. That always help transition you into becoming just being able to progress through those clutch times and clutch moments and stuff like that. So I think that you're just teammates and your coach is believing in you, and y'all talking through it, and y'all believing in what y'all got set. It really help you progress through that.
And so that kind of makes me think about, so this year, this past football season, the first time you guys were playing Martinsburg for the season, in the regular season. And I think at the half it was 12-7, right?
Yeah.
So like, kind of, what's going through your mind in that moment?
During that game at halftime, I mean, we're down 7-12. We were struggling offensively. We're not really struggling, but we were getting down to the red zone, but then we weren't executing. So what came to our mind was just that we got to do a better job of finishing drives. So I mean, we came out at half. I think we got stopped the first time, and then we stopped them, and then we came down and scored and took the lead. So really believing in what the coaches had planned for us, really executing the plan and really executing plays and staying locked in. I mean, it's tough. It gets hard being out, especially in high school. Like you're playing both sides, so you're playing. I'm going on offense and I'm going right back out on defense. So it's like it's hard and tiring, but you just gotta believe in what your coaches got planned, believe in your team, believe that they can execute, and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what kind of playing both sides of the ball and being a high level player both on offense and on defense, like you said, you get tired. So what kind of just drives you to keep going despite being so exhausted?
I mean, my teammates, I don't want to take a play off for them.
Yeah.
I always want to play hard. I don't want to be the reason why. I don't want to be the reason why they made a play. And that's what pushes me is just I play for my teammates, and I hope they would do the same for me. So playing hard every play, and then if I needed a break and I'm that tired, I'm like, hey coach, let me get one, because I don't want to cheat. I want to cheat them, and I hope they wouldn't want to cheat me. So being able to push myself for them and them doing the same for me is what really drove us and got us a long way. So that's how I'd say.
And then with sometimes you have negative thoughts. So how do you feel like you go about, or how do you think an athlete would go about catching a negative thought but then reframing that into something more empowering?
I mean that happens a lot in sports, because you drop a ball, maybe you think, man, why am I dropping this? And then you let that carry over to the next play, then you're gonna mess up. You just gotta have a short memory and just be able to, if you make a mistake, let it go, move on, next play. We gotta refocus next play and execute this play. So being able to have a short memory and stuff, and being able to move on, because like yesterday I was in the corner wide open for a three.
Yes,
Dropped it right out my hands.
Yeah.
I gotta have a short memory and move on.
Yeah.
I gotta lock in this next defense position and get a stop. So I mean, that's really important. And in big games, and if you don't have a short memory in big games, one mistake you make that could cost you the game. Especially in us, especially playing against Morgantown.
Yeah.
We make, we come out and make a mistake, and we let plays keep carrying over to the next play, next possession, next drive. That can really make you lose games. So you really got to keep focused and, move on from mistakes, because those can really cost you games.
It's really about kind of almost forgiving yourself in a way.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, like it happened, move on. Because like you were saying yesterday, you're in the corner, got a wide open three, you probably would have made it. It just slipped through your hand.
Yeah.
It happens. It's kind of just saying like, you know what, whatever.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, because you got to be able to not only get it out your head for yourself, but your teammates. And also, they believe in you enough. They know that was just a little mistake. You don't usually do that. So them being able to believe in you, and then when they make a mistake, help them move on. Just telling them you believe in them is all right. Just a little oops, and just being able to move on from it is, it's a good thing that being able to have a short memory. So.
Yeah. And so when you're moving towards long-term success, what do you feel like one of the biggest mindset shifts is when achieving long-term success?
Just be able to take, one day at a time, being able to, not worry about anything that's happened, previously, not anything that's going to happen in the future, but worry about your now. Worry about what you got to take care of for this day. Don't worry about nothing that's going to happen because you can't control that. You got to worry about what you're living in now. So I think that's really important to taking care of your long-term success and knowing what you want to do and knowing your goals and knowing what you want to achieve. So I think taking care of what you got going on today is, something that's really important, really what's going to get you to be able to, achieve long-term success.
Yeah. And so one thing that I think about, I feel like this year alone, you've gone through a lot of adversity outside of the sport, stuff that didn't even have anything to do with the sport.
Yeah.
With, like, let's say, like the football season, whatever happens, and now you guys go from, I think it's 6-1.
Yeah, like
6-1 to
7-1 to 4-6. So
yeah, and so with that so at that point, your long-term success is, well, we're trying to win the state championship.
Yeah.
So what's kind of going through your mind at that moment?
I mean, when that happened, we were lucky that there was only 16 teams in the 4A class, so everyone made the playoffs. But
yeah.
I mean, if that wasn't a thing, that could have really hurt us from not making the playoffs. So, but I mean, after that, we just took it. We were just like, we make the playoffs anyway. Let's just go. If they're gonna make us be 4-6, I guess we're gonna go on the road and have to beat these teams. So
yeah,
just really, being lucky, the situation we were in with only 16 teams, but really having that mindset, saying like it hurt us, us losing those wins and stuff, because it was like we really worked so hard for that, and they were just taking it all away from us. But really having that mindset, it was like, what, at least we're lucky to be able to make the playoffs, and we're still going to get the opportunity to play these teams and be able to compete for a championship. Having that mindset to be, but they might have took our wins, but we still going to be in the playoffs, so we might as well just go on the road and beat these teams. Yeah. And luckily we got our wins back and everything went how it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
So the coaches really instilled in us, hey, we might have lost these games, but we still have an opportunity to go win a state championship. So no matter what happens, if we have to go on the road, we're gonna go on the road. But we still gonna come out with a win. So that was our mindset, and when that happened, which was a really tough situation. But I'm glad that everything shaped out how it did, and we got our wins back, and we got to play at home, because that was the real thing that hurt us about it, because Spring Mills never really has home football playoff games. And the fact that we worked so hard to have our fans be able to show up for games instead of traveling all the way across the state to go play Huntington or George Washington and stuff like that, but being able to bring that for our school is something that was really important to not only me but our team. Being able to play games in front of our fans, because little did we know, like when we were 4-6, we just played our last home game. We didn't even know. So we already thought we was gonna play 3 home games because how our record was shaped out, and then them taking that away from us, and which was something we really worked hard for. But I'm glad everything shaped the way it did, because it was really a blessing, and I was so happy that I got to do that for the school, because usually every other season it was only 1 playoff game that we've had. Yeah. But we got to play 3 more home playoff games, in front of our home crowd, and it was really special, and I enjoyed every single last game of it.
And that's the end of part 1 of episode 3 of Royal Vision Podcast with Max Anderson. I appreciate you guys following on TikTok, Instagram, and subscribing to us on YouTube. And if you're ready to join the kingdom, go to CoachMatthew.com and cop yourself some Kingdom merch. We got gym tank tops. We got sweatshirts. And we got t-shirts too. So join the kingdom today. I appreciate you guys. Peace out.